and then Yankupon de a drink at sea as in Sabo Frano, one said Uncle Shano, one said that I'm fat, I'm near in Shishaya, bitch be a man on also it me a pea, no when ya a disnia, nay, since a bitch me a bois. No, not a number so to me a boy man. What? Yeah, because you have to cast the net wide. You have to cast the net wide so you can catch every potential talent that you have in your country in it to be able to move the country. That is the purpose of the educational policy. And then so I can say, for instance, recently it's been difficult for a lot of people with school going at the tertiary level. Ye be more senior high, and then also he has a tertiary level also society. The more we have of people going through the whole system right up, the better it is for the formation of our workforce, the better it is for our national development. Yeah. So now we've come up again with another idea. So far, we're saying that when we're senior high, when you have the requisite grades to go up to university, maybe papa no mame we busuafo sika samenya intino untumi hu kwa babia yebema loan yebema students loan nso no ye menye bibi what tin what be kola kofa guarantors kola kofa say so long as you are registered or Ghana card or ID card Ghana card. Because Ghana card, no, the OWA, it means you can be identified and traced. Come with your Ghana card and you can get a loan. Which I'm sure so. And we'll say, now your national service and then a period of grace, which we shall say, once again, no, that one is to make it possible. So, Ubia, who has the talent to go forward, no. Ya masika ya barrier masani pano na ko no so and I am very, very confident of one thing: this expansion of the education. In 5 years, 10 years' time, the output, the productivity of the Ghanaian workforce is going to double, triple in front of our very eyes. Because you're going to now have people who are capable in so many different areas who are ready to work and contribute and build the nation. And the end result will be justified. Some of these things, this is not the problem of a reform, of reforms. When you're doing them, you can't, some people have a limited vision, so they can't see the purpose of the reforms because they can't see the result. Yeah. But if you have the vision, you can see, say, oh yeah, yes, you're sowing the seed.
Technical and vocational and also starty bi na saying my name is out here na NDC flag bearer no mama so oba be TVET free.
But that program is already on it's already it's already happening. The free senior high school free TVET, it's already happening. So I don't understand. You keep saying things which are already being done as if somehow, and some of the things too. The NDC flag bearer. It's important. Say, ono akasa te ade ba ko ase. He has been in office before. It's like me. The next time, let's say after 2020, that me say, yeah, shall we and then now we are. Because I know a bit me who say, I'm pa can say, oh, baby, way, and a bit me a but you've come, your performance was poor. By every stretch of the imagination, you can make whatever excuses you like. It was poor. Then, 2008. From 2008 until 2016, 2009 until 2017. NDC government, of which you were first of all vice president and then became president. Not one single effort was made to actualize that promise. Now you say no. Now ban so baba free fire, which already is being done under the NHIS system. The aged and people under 18. Being done already. Why would we want to believe somebody who promises our year before you were not able to keep, and then you're coming back to say, "Oba, obey, say." That's why I said at the beginning of the campaign, the first time in the history. They have now a record in government. Akufo-Addo pre-2016, other than as Minister for Justice, Attorney General, and Minister for Foreign Affairs, had no record. I had no record as a president. Today I do. The NDC presidential candidate also has a record as a president. So the quality of their records, how well people performed when given the highest opportunity, has to be a central feature of this election. We cannot run away from it because it is what will determine credibility. You ran our economy into the arms of the IMF. Then came to produce all these stringent conditions. No idea how they're going to be paid for. What is the economic rationale that will support all these promises? And you're expecting, because Ghanaians have short memories, that we take it like that and vote for you again. I'm hoping that people of Ghana will surprise them on the 7th of December to let him know that they don't have short memories, that they excessively, not so short as to forget 4 years ago. And on top of it, to have a certain sense of respect for the people. I find that lacking in the way in which the NDC candidate is talking to Ghanaians. A certain lack of respect for them in the way in which he's talking. And I don't think it's right.
Okay. And okay, you have a Symbia, of course, ne campaign no more play out. But okay, COVID was ne honchre di ba Ghana see. I say we are sense so a man penning for ni kuahoro mutimi sese memo said the air course kuya and queen papi na say omoni na say omoni so e yomon say Ghana timi COVID mu wudie kai na nneɛma ya yiye nyina na kwa sɛ asa so amansan nyina ani officer die bi strong ko be na wo ye na se bi ya level of engagement a oni kuku ahoro wo Ghana ha na ye ne adwene nyina na inspiration free atimi ama
e ba no COVID dey ba no na the can say the abbey a big test for Ghana and for myself. A social case a choir a bitch me and she say a bubble man who buy near being so abrasive. The say, sir, me American Dino. Say maybe him, no man shed that. That's the first thing. Okay. To have a certain stability of outlook, to realize that it's a big test ahead of you. You can't afford to flip flop. Which means and come one kasa udi him because oh yes I said that corona already lost. That's the first thing. And then secondly, what I've been trying to do ever since I came into office is also to find the best people to help you think things through and devise policy.
Yeah.
Before who assembled, who are leading the COVID fight, fortunately, grade 1, A-class Ghanaians. Nsiasare, Dr. Nsiasare, Nono Ababe, already a Director General of the Ghana Health Service, had finished his term and had come into my office as Presidential Advisor on Health. So he was immediately available. I mean, so the choir or Yenime. You were Nipa, high-ranking official at WHO. RBD number 2, Deputy Director General of WHO, World Organization. At the time, yes, problem with Ebola. No, he was the main man at headquarters in Geneva who devised the global response to the Ebola. No, Nipan so Abagana in retirement. We in national assignment. What be fear? Because I have go Babajina home and take it easy. But he was here.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, I was able to have access to him and was able to persuade him that he should come right back and on Bekano. Yeah. And there are others. And then the key figures in the government, Ajimamenu himself. Subsequently, Okoboy, who became his deputy. You have Yawedu Jemfi, you had Bedusa Kodier, who was already at the public health emergency unit of the Ministry of Health. A group of group of very capable, very motivated Ghanaians. The story that went from me to them is that Asemabe, some Yenina Fadri, Yehu Akwanya Faswa, Pebwa, Emagana for Ichime Friadium. Even if the medicine is bitter, the analysis is bitter, tell me. Don't let us do this. Kind of there because let's always get the hard, brutal facts on the table. There no solution to the issue. And that is the way in which we've been handling the matter from the beginning. And I know measures which for lots of other people, other countries, it took them a long time to down the closing of our borders, the insisting on on the protocols, then even the period of the lockdown, we were able to do it with some confidence. To me, the fight against the COVID. And in the end, that is what has happened.
Okay.
So that as we speak, touch wood, by the grace of the Almighty, it looks as if we're beginning to get a grip on the thing. Okay. So I'm very grateful to the team, with which I'm working. I think they've been invaluable, and I'm also very grateful to the Almighty that He gave me the strength to be able to look this thing in the face and say, I can't afford to wobble, I can't afford to flip-flop, I cannot afford to be seen to be wavering and to be scared. I need to and it is important that I stand up and do the best I can for Ghana.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Asem sanse abato besaba hu se okọ round na onsem a odi tujane feedback a wunyina be kan but banking crisis so yin say obaye no anche na confront to in fact na o share the last state of the nation address former president here onokra kan jitu mu say na de no ho but about that no anya ho hwe obaye a o ye no so what feedback to say what be gun for juma no amagana for ho akire mo na e bi kra no na o de ko ba bi anya say e bi ya ho ya o pese bi adwuma gu o tete sa comment na
ne bi no e bi ya me wawa e titu everyone here and now wants the crisis no buy opportunity wo say crisis ya be ya hu bibi. As far back as 2012 was when the first analysis of the banking crisis was made. And again in 2015, there are documents that show that at the highest level, information was available, say, the aircon, the way the banking system was working, the financial sector was working, and yet you're not prepared to do anything about it, either from fear, from inability to devise a way to do it, political fear, say, you may lose the forthcoming election. And I took a different view. Reforms here, the whole system was going to come crashing down. And our situation would have been far worse. People talk about deposits, and job losses. I can say, and let me repeat it categorically, everybody who had deposits in the 7 affected banks, 9 affected banks, all their deposits have been made available to them without exception.
Okay.
Those that were taken over by Ghana Commercial Bank, those that became part of the Consolidated Bank of Ghana, CBG, all depositors who were affected by the intervention of the Bank of Ghana, the revocation of their licenses, the acquisition of the banks, all of them have 100% access to their deposits. Then you have the special deposit institutions, the SDIs, microfinance, savings and loans. As we speak, 98% claims of depositors of these institutions have also been preserved. The others are on the way, so that by the end of September, everybody, all of them, will also have been satisfied.
Okay.
Including those ones that collapsed in the Mahama era. Yeah, can say DKM depositors. I'm sure that by Monday, all of them will also have been paid. They had already received 2 payments, but it was necessary to top up. As we're speaking now, the top up is going through, and all of them, I don't want to say some of them, I'm saying all of them will also have been fully satisfied. Now, if you're not fund managers, fund managers, there were about 21 fund managers who were not working already, who were dormant. And now, Security and Exchange Commission revoked their license. Then there's another 32 who are working, who they revoked their license. 3 of them applied for a review of the decision to revoke, and their review application was successful.
Okay.
So they now are operating normally.
Okay.
So you have 29 whose licenses have been revoked. Now, one to know, they don't go through the same legal process at Bank of Ghana yet. Bank of Ghana, when they see there's a problem in the bank, either insolvency, potential, or actual, can intervene directly, appoint a receiver to take control of the bank, and then start dealing with deposit. In the case of the fund and the Securities and Exchange Control, they have to go via the route of the official receiver to go and do the liquidator, to go and get liquidation orders from the courts that would then allow them to start the process of recovering assets and then distributing the assets. So 22 liquidation orders have been received by from the courts by the Securities and Exchange Commission before the courts went on vacation.
Okay.
So there's another, I believe, 7 that is outstanding, which immediately the courts come back also. So those arrangements for those 2 are ongoing.
Okay.
And there's finance, once again, Bank of Ghana are working together with the Securities and Exchange Commission to make sure that all those who are also invested in these funds are also fully covered. That will happen.
Okay.
Some people say that these people who took a chance and made these investments, why should the taxpayer come and bail them out? For me, the reason is very simple. Those who are supposed to be responsible for applying the rules, regulating these institutions so these things will not happen, did not do their work. As far as I'm concerned, it would be very unjust that depositors, whose no fault of theirs, ended up in this situation, should be punished and be visited with the sins of the regulators and the public authorities. I didn't think it was right, and that is why I felt that the correct thing to do, and Abain Bebem, Abain will come and protect them, whilst taking the necessary measures to make sure that these things don't happen again. I think we have a much more robust, a much more resilient banking and financial sector now than we did 3 years ago. We have regulatory mechanisms in place which will make it difficult for these things to be repeated. And generally, the reform of the banking system has been a very positive development. Some people did get scarred. I mean, there were roughly 10,000 people in the banking sector as employees. We were able to save the jobs of some 7,000.
Yeah.
So there were 3,000 odd who did lose their jobs. Some discussions are going on as to how to find some kind of package for them.
Yeah.
But the alternative was to let the system crash and all 10,000 to find themselves on the street.
Yeah.
Plus
Depositors' funds.
the depositors' funds.
Yeah.
We saved the depositors' funds, and we saved the greater majority of the jobs of people in the banking system. These things happen, and with the kind of opposition that we have in Ghana, you know that far from wanting to throw light on the situation, they're going to make mischief out of the thing. They're going to start saying, and you have brought down Ghanaian companies, and Ghanaian. You look into these Ghanaian companies, you find out how it is that they became banks. You find out the systems that were used to license them, and you find that a whole lot of very irregular processes were undertaken. And we're being told that when irregularity and misconduct is done by Ghanaians, somehow or other we should close our eyes to it. And we only get ourselves involved with sanctions when it is with foreigners. That's not the Ghana that I want to see develop.
Okay. Utie Oman 107.1 FM Utie ya affiliate stations ni nyina na ohwe won net 2 live. Ya ne Ghana mampani Nana Danko Akufo-Addo no anse ye flag bearer e de ma MPP amanyoko no na etwetwe nkomo na yemra nansen what started koto. Of course afibia oko na okọ a woni nananom ne omanfo hia at least or said omo receive on the ground walk around ache utiti form a it say woni nananom come otwetwe mu ne omanfo a woni omo interacting na
me didn't teach you the me and say me bunkunta mo.
Okay.
Bia me ko me pese me ma won hu adwuma ayaye e wo ankasa won pesuaso on region mu nyehwe se adwuma boa Michelle won say me ba me say no one hwa me di so na ma me di so.
Okay.
They are shaming crime. They say virtually all parts of Ghana Meko. The response from the chiefs, the response from ordinary people, they say, yes, this man has been truthful to us. You more kinds of your barber, obey my, so, oh, yeah. Say, yeah, kwayo, say, yeah, iskasamo, say, yeah, this you say, yeah, one who say, ampa, boy, Michelle, say, me ba, me, any say, no, me, this. It's an also shaming crime, baby, because Mammy who said, Mammy, yeah, Akufo, was there so many? When who said, Ampa, no crime, me be catch you, be the so that's one thing. And at the same time, also, of course, it gives you opportunity. So, as a name of Benna, as is I feel so, baby, Yakupoma, Quina, baby, would be come. And also, so now I've started engaging with them. Kwame Babaye said the transformation air coastal Ghana, how can we deepen it? Industrial transformation, agricultural transformation, the whole idea of Ghana becoming a major business hub in West Africa and in Africa, which is the drive of the second term of Akufo-Addo's government to create a dynamic economy here. It's going to be able to be a major source of job creation in digital services, promoting the digital economy, having a modern and diversified agricultural sector, having a strong industrial sector. These are the ways forward. And of course, also strengthening the school system. Because that to me continues to be absolutely critical.
Okay.
What we need to do with the educational system. One of the things that the educational system, which has caused a lot of talk recently, of course, any public universities bill trying to rationalize how the public universities will operate. I think the basic thrust of the bill and the rationale for it, and it is incontestable. There are public universities in Ghana, each one of them having almost different charters and running differently. We've now rationalized it so that we have a more simplified and more lucid and coherent management and administration of the school. But there are one or two aspects of the bills that have generated controversy, and I'm very, very keen that those matters should be looked at again.
Okay.
Like, for instance, the composition of the councils, of the governing councils of the university. Some valid criticisms have been made about the initial proposals the government made, and I think it's only right that we pause and have a look at it again. And that is the way it should be. And that is the legislative process that is done by any responsible people. The government comes out with an initial position and draft, and then as a result of public comment and criticism, people are able to point to some important loopholes, or you respond to it.
Yeah.
So I want to do that very much with the public universities, but have a look again at the composition of the governing councils.
Okay. Now also, what kind of education was it? We say COVID so one challenge ne kwanya be faso na ya BA school so kakra. The tail end the means now there nyama take shape, but it is a private school for also private school operators and so I say na omo in means we engage a lot.
But they definitely have a problem, because for the time being, as schools and course lectures there's no income. Yeah, for the schools as well as for the teachers. Matthew Prempenum are looking very, very closely at the relief package by which I am schools no teacher for. And that program will also be announced to the country. But I'm very conscious that they play a very important role in the national economy and the national educational system, the private schools. Public schools, private schools, especially at the primary and junior secondary level, and private schools are very, very, very critical. So and we have been able to find some ways of assisting small businesses, medium-scale businesses, large businesses with stimulus packages of one sort or the other. I think it is very appropriate that we should also look at what can be done to provide some kind of relief and package for the private schools. So that's very much
okay. Now I call campaign and call Volta region. Deba kona okaho asemo ye say onye obi a oyenyi mu onye campaign na utia obi na ma ye campaign osako ade na ye necessary say because remind manforce
say kasa ibinum so pese de ba asimu I say your government here some kind of tribal agenda for cans. I can't understand for the life of me how anybody can make some of those accusations. If you say here, some call, no makwako, ma one society say, for me, you know, a Ghana for Ghana bako. Na so be because me per se Voltarians, they always say this, and you know, correct. Now, a better say me, I'm a cohort one whom and me, me, and Casamine. I mean, Casa directly to tell them that there's no such agenda. Mean, Tissa one and number can say we have say I came for Sakawa for.
I know what it.
Mate, I'm you know, I don't know how to put it, but I am a ferry. So be our big Ghana man penny, which means I'm now Samsa.
We need a cool big now.
Say a particular tribe, a sucker. Well, the only one is paying for a Wagana Halo. A bunny say, yeah, you said that to me, sorry, and can be. I would have thought about now, a better civil society groups, a better a soft one paying for a Cassin Debbie or paying yes, Anna, Casadon here. I'm got the MP before paying for be a miana, maybe cocaine be bisa, if I say Gunja for one, there will be an uproar in this country. Yeah. But it's a pity. But it is important. It's important at all times that we have leadership in this country by their actions, by their deeds, as well as by their words, are interested in bringing the country together. And that is the purpose for these statements that I want to make in the voter.
Okay. Na se o santo se kaso obey what is awesome no so pan. No so one district, one factory. Bibi anyhow.
All over the place. All over the place. Maybe I have a good. So who follow me campaign? So many places I make. That's one of the first things the chiefs say. Oh, and that's it. This has happened here. This has happened here. Roads are baha. The warehouse are baha. We've improved our sanitary situation. All of those. These things don't happen in a vacuum. But the important thing is not the debt, is how you use it. And what is take for instance, these interchanges. We're building 4 interchanges. Tema, Pukwase, Tamale, Obechamilamte, Kaneshi. 4. For something like 289 million United States dollars. All 4. Kwame Nkrumah interchange, built under the presidency of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. 269 million. Just one. That tells you about the attitude towards debt. A responsible attitude that is interested in value for money. And one which is about and how we can pad things. I think that the developments at Etsiwo, Ghana, these last 3.5 years are the greatest justification for monies that have been borrowed. We have slowed down the rates at which we're accumulating debt because of the kind of way we have structured our debt. These various bond issues that have come have done in such a way that we have much longer maturity dates than we had before, lower rates of interest than we had before. So the whole rate of debt accumulation itself has gone down, and we have much more acceptable debt GDP ratios than we had before. All of these are the sign of the good management of the economy that has made it possible. So those I'm fortified by one thing, and then I be a Akufo-Addo somehow or other will be a kind of found. Yes, I'm family. I believe strongly in the system, so be a walk on, but you are kind of That's the democracy that I have fought for all my life. So Ghana need be a one far who deal or best or because Akufo-Addo utinya mefe. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. Because if you are one who says also team it's draw. It's everybody should have the opportunity to open their mouth and say what they think. But the key is the validity of what you're saying, the accuracy of what you're saying. Are you they're okay? They're okay. That is the more important thing. Since you have the right to speak, don't worry. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Because most of me were quite much me, yes, I'm pa, because we'll be brave, and
okay. Now, what's Okada, yeah, motorbikes, say, and no more provide more jobs, as in NAPCO.
Yes, I see. Okada, Tama, yeah,
2012.
2012. Ira Mahama Bresso. Anna Ura Mills Bresso. It's the same. It's the same. Mahama Mills Mahama. One person here the law against. But today he's changed his mind. He says he's going to legalize it. So bad. This is the thing.
Never provide more jobs than NAPCO.
How can that provide it? How can that provide more jobs than NAPCO and the planting for food and jobs? We have put out the figures of how many jobs we have created, over 2 million. We've put it out. It has not been contested. We have put it out that we've created over 2 million jobs in the formal public and private sectors. So how can you say that this source of will provide more jobs than other areas? It's just populism. And it's another sign of this inconsistency. While you're in power, you do one thing. When you're out of power, you say another thing. It's not good for our public discourse that political leaders are so free to change their mind, because it means that people can never know where they stand with you. I will do one-term premium for NHIS. I don't do it. The next time I come, I'll say I'll give you free primary health care. How does he expect us to take these commitments of his? All that you can say is, Akwe, it's better that we leave him alone. So that we can have a more serious dialogue in our country.
Nana, yenka emabunu ho asem ye you of this time. Me say what transformation agenda no ye vision kese opese o magana fo nyina atiase. Kwan be na office mapunu no dachi betimi apoa na efa
me fi say shisha ye nyina no ye mabunu titru anyone here about being faso. It's a school call to the digitization of the economy, the diversification of the economy, improving the manner in which we do our agriculture, the industrial transformation, all of these measures being put together. Then the specific youth in agriculture, youth in afforestation, all of these youth-directed projects are putting together the foundation for expanding access to employment for the youth of our country. They are the majority. So whatever you do, though, they have to be the first target in your vision of doing things.
Okay. That's say enyumre wajemre na oni etimi atwetwe nkomo wo Man FM na 2 ne station ahoro nyina akaso na so bia bibi wo wano opeso ka kire Ghana for ni titiri ye be sa kwa abato mo no nanka mpese ebru wo mkra etimi twetwe nkomo
do bia be bio mama bia be nya kwan bio
ba ma ya kan
bia be pe kwan bio o na ni titiri me sa Ghana for say abaye babetu me fendi agro enyina hu say abato e won hu sunsunso. It has consequences. Kwan MPP abai Ghana for say ye my kwan toaso a sasaye na ye hwehwe ama oba ben enyina tumi say enchekra nyina bebom Emma Ghana ye hwehwe no aba ye beto ye no nye pomodin se ye beto to niema menya fapem papa betumi apejo man nkoso if it's a form of nanano it'll become consolidated na etumi ama yakwenim no chenu so no ni titru e fami ankasa me hono bese Ghana for inye gidie e wo mimu se meye nipa can't say me, nothing so soon. Me no crefo.
Okay.
Hear me pa, Sagana for being yasa jide, a woman, now 1 year in your quine, a tea, mechi, a quine, Miss Wimpers, man of.
Okay.
No, no, miss, my master or maybe so Kosovo. Kosovo, any on my FM, it was a papa.
Yes, said us. Now, how can fellow Ghanaian work?
I be awesome. Fellow Ghanaians. Thank you very much, Miss Papa. Thank you.
Ati for any aha and a brema hokama ene and come strong choir ne president any MPP Frank Tunin and Adanko Akufo-Addo flag bearer between ewo Jubilee House no ye de baby affiliate stations do na mutimi tie so any Oman FM Facebook and 2TV GH and so mo abutimi share ye any more mutie wo wiase afa na nyina no that was said the president ashebo no enche e besa abamo nche biem na ba beto ankomo so sansa campaign mu ana and I also the other can say ye dey ade pa na ye di akiri na said the all kan odai ase no ye nim se ade papa na wo ye ade papa nso na wo ne wamanyoku no mo ani di akiri ntina ye nso so ye boa wo sa kwan so nyame emoaye na onka ye nyina homa okon awoko no ade papa bi ntimi mfiri mu mra ye da se pa
National agenda so